So the final piece of information that we get from a 3D force plate is going to be our rotational forces. And when I explain vertical forces or shearing forces to people, they're pretty easy to understand. Rotational forces are a lot more difficult to understand. With our dual plates, we measure rotational forces in different ways because we can actually use shearing forces to create rotation, right? We can push in opposite directions with each foot, which creates a rotation of the whole body. We can also just put our foot on the plate and kind of twist it onto the plate, which creates some rotational force as well. So there's lots of different ways to create rotational forces, but there's a lot of rotation in sport and in life. If we talk about golf or baseball or anything, rotation is a big part of athletic movement. And so what kind of activities could we now do in the force plate to kind of understand rotation better?
Sure, so currently we've got the golf swing and the baseball swing that people are familiar with, but now we can take a look at general activities, so medicine ball throws, maybe weighted baseball throws, and look at the factors that contribute to a golf swing but aren't necessarily a golf swing. So when we hold something heavy and rotate our body to propel it, can we produce more or less force? Can we absorb more or less force? And then does that correlate with our technical skills?
Right, and even deceleration of rotational I think is pretty important. So I could toss a medicine ball to you, you could catch it and kind of absorb it. That would be another thing that we could examine on the plate. What other kind of rotational, because I feel like a lot of activities combine forces. So like a twisting jump, like a 360 jump or something like that.
Yeah, so you could do a 180 broad jump.
Sure.
So you could do a rotational lateral jump, but like you said, it's going to be shear and rotational, and you'll get both the global rotational of the whole person and the trail limb, forward limb.
Of each foot.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's a ton to learn here. Obviously, this hasn't been leveraged in the past. Right. No one's really been able to examine it. So there's going to be a lot of learning to understand how this works, but I think we can learn a lot more about our athletes, and rotational sports or rotational motions are part of every activity that we do. And so understanding more about how athletes can absorb and create rotations, I think is going to be really important.
Yeah.